Welcome to AI Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: OpenAI chief seeks new Microsoft funds to build superintelligence. Whitehall seeks to turbocharge recruitment from the private sector. Goldman downgrades Hong Kong traded China stocks, raises India. Apple's China woes stoke $20 billion Xiaomi rally. TSMC jumps after posting first monthly sales gain since February. OpenAI chief seeks new Microsoft funds to build superintelligence. Financial Times. OpenAI plans to secure further financial backing from its biggest investor Microsoft as the ChatGPT maker's chief executive Sam Altman pushes ahead with his vision to create artificial general intelligence, AGI, computer software as intelligent as humans. Microsoft earlier this year invested $10 billion in OpenAI as part of a multi-year agreement that valued the San Francisco-based company at $29 billion, according to people familiar with the talks. Altman said his company's partnership with Microsoft's chief executive Satya Nadella was working really well and that he expected to raise a lot more over time from the tech giant among other investors, to keep up with the punishing costs of building more sophisticated AI models. To build out the enterprise business, Altman said he hired executives such as Brad Lightcap, who previously worked at Dropbox and startup accelerator Y Combinator, as his chief operating officer. Altman, meanwhile, splits his time between two areas: research into how to build superintelligence and ways to build up computing power to do so. Whitehall seeks to turbocharge recruitment from the private sector. Financial Times. The UK government is seeking to recruit more industry executives to senior roles in the civil service as part of its strategy to improve productivity and address skills shortages. Ministers want to tap into private sector talent, particularly in areas such as artificial intelligence, data science, and technology. The government also wants to make it easier for civil servants to return to the public sector after working in the private sector. The recruitment drive is aimed at addressing long-standing issues of speed and nimbleness in the civil service, as well as improving the professionalization of Whitehall and driving efficiency through AI and digital advancements. The government is overhauling its recruitment processes, including making job adverts clearer and streamlining vetting procedures. However, pay constraints remain a significant hurdle to attracting private sector talent, with union officials calling for the government to address pay disparities. The government is also launching a secondment scheme to attract professionals from FTSE 100 companies to join Whitehall on a temporary basis. Goldman downgrades Hong Kong traded China stocks, raises India. Bloomberg. Goldman Sachs has downgraded its rating on Hong Kong-listed Chinese stocks due to low earnings growth and a potential consensus downgrade. The bank has upgraded shares in India, citing the market's strategic appeal and strong earnings growth prospects. Meanwhile, Goldman remains overweight on Chinese onshore shares due to opportunities in sectors related to the country's shift towards higher productivity and greater self-sufficiency. Apple's China woes stoke $20 billion Xiaomi rally. Bloomberg. Chinese smartphone maker Xiaomi has seen its market value increase by $20 billion since June, capitalizing on Apple's sliding sales in the country. The company's 14 series has generated more than 1 million orders since launching in October, while the firm's work on electric vehicles, EVs, is also seen as a factor in its impressive performance. Xiaomi's stock has surged by more than 60% in the past few months, making it the best performer on the Hang Seng Tech Index. TSMC jumps after posting first monthly sales gain since February. Bloomberg. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, saw its shares rise by 4.1% after reporting its first monthly sales gain since February. The company recorded a 15.7% increase in revenue to 243.2 billion new Taiwan dollars, $7.5 billion, in October. TSMC CEO, C.C. Wei, stated that the chip market is expected to hit bottom soon as demand for chips used in AI applications continues to grow. TSMC is the primary chip maker for companies such as Nvidia and Apple. The company's sales outlook for the quarter is $18.8 billion to $19.6 billion. For news organizations, the flood of Gaza war video is proving both illuminating and troubling. The Toronto Star. Journalists are having to sift through an increasing amount of video footage found online in order to determine what is real and to piece together the truth. News organizations are now forming teams to study online evidence, using data and technology to analyze video footage and other publicly available material. The New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, CNN, and the Associated Press recently conducted in-depth analyses of video evidence to try and determine the cause of a deadly explosion at Gaza's Al-Ali Arab Hospital. Although there was no unanimous conclusion, this type of investigation is becoming increasingly important in today's digital age. Wendy McMahon, president of CBS News and Stations, said that audiences expect to participate in a shared viewing experience and to learn what is going on in real time. News organizations must therefore comb through an endless supply of video posted on social media platforms such as Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, and Facebook. While it is essential for journalists to convey reality, there is also concern that violent images can be too traumatizing for consumers to see. Silicon Valley's bet on the device that comes after the smartphone. Japan Times. Humane, a startup based in San Francisco, aims to help people break free from smartphone addiction by creating a new device called AI Pin. The device, which is pinned to the chest, emits gentle chirps and uses AI to monitor the user's smartphone usage. The company has received $240 million in funding, holds 25 patents, and has partnerships with top tech companies such as OpenAI, Microsoft, and Salesforce. The goal is to use technology to solve the problem of technology addiction. Climate change will test Tokyo's world-class flood defenses. Bloomberg. Japan's extensive flood prevention infrastructure may not be enough to protect the country from the increasing threat of flooding caused by climate change. Flooding accounts for over 70% of natural and climate-related disasters in Japan, with Tokyo particularly vulnerable due to its numerous rivers and dense population. Rising sea levels, more frequent storms, and land subsidence further exacerbate the risk. The metropolitan area outer underground discharge channel, created in 2006 at a cost of $2 billion, redirects excess water from rivers to prevent flooding. However, climate change is causing more intense and frequent storms that surpass the capacity of these structures. As a result, Japan is being forced to invest heavily in flood infrastructure, such as expanding sewer systems and raising sea walls, to prevent disaster. Other countries in Asia, such as Singapore and China, are also investing in flood protection measures. However, experts warn that adaptation alone is not enough and that countries must also focus on mitigating climate change to prevent further damage. Japan has set a goal to become carbon neutral by 2050 but has been slow to make progress towards this target. Investors use AI to glean the truth behind executives' soothing words. Financial Times. Investors are using AI to analyze the audio recordings of company executives' earnings calls in a bid to detect their true emotions. Currently, many funds use algorithms to analyze executives' word choice for signals, but are now examining the way in which those words are spoken. Hesitation and filler words are left out of transcripts, leaving the AI to pick up on micro-tremors that humans cannot detect. UK to pare back new takeover screening powers, says Deputy PM. Financial Times. The UK government is set to narrow and refine the National Security and Investment Act, which gives the government the power to scrutinize and block takeovers, with the Deputy Prime Minister claiming he wants to make the act more business-friendly. It comes less than 2 years after the act was introduced and the UK sought to tighten the rules governing mergers and acquisitions amid concerns over national security. The government's position has also shifted from celebrating the acquisition of Arm by SoftBank to adding the new screening powers last year to now relaxing them. Report card, grading out each unit in the Iowa Hawkeyes win over Rutgers. Yahoo! The Iowa Hawkeyes sit at 8-2, have clinched at least a share of the Big Ten West, and are 1 win away from making a trip to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship. Iowa's dominant 22-0 victory over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights was their finest performance on the season as everything was working for the Hawkeyes. The offense went over 400 yards for the first time in the past 32 games, the defense held Rutgers to 127 yards, and everything seemed to break the right way. AI designs a tartan, and it includes a nod to a sci-fi supercomputer. Telegraph. A kilt designed by chatbot ChatGPT has been accepted onto the official Scottish Register of Tartans. The tartan is the first to be designed by artificial intelligence, AI, and includes a hidden reference to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The design was created by an AI language model based on advanced machine learning algorithms and was intended to capture the essence of AI development. The colors and thread counts of the design were suggested by the chatbot itself. One of the thread counts is 42, a reference to the joke in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy about the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. The art and fun of selling yourself without selling out. The Sydney Morning Herald. Digital artist Emmy Chang spoke at the recent Adobe Max conference about how social media and AI have transformed her artistic journey. Chang, who began painting 5 years ago, initially used Instagram to document her creative process, but soon realized that people appreciated seeing the vulnerabilities and the outtakes and processes behind the work. Chang has since expanded her artistic style into the digital realm, using AI tools to create animated 3D creations. She believes that having a digital presence has been crucial to her artistic growth and has allowed her to attract attention and opportunities. In the heart of the forest, one woman built a house of slime. The Sydney Morning Herald. Sarah Lloyd, an Australian woman, has built a house filled with thousands of matchboxes, each containing a slime mold. She has collected and documented a vast array of slime molds, making her house a library of slime mold specimens. Slime molds are microscopic organisms that have gone largely unnoticed since their discovery. However, those who take an interest in them often become obsessed, keeping them as pets and conducting experiments with them. Scientists have discovered that slime molds have the ability to solve mazes, design subway systems, and model computer algorithms. They have also found that slime molds can learn and share information with each other, suggesting a form of primitive intelligence. Researchers are now studying slime mold behavior to gain insights into areas such as neural networks and AI algorithms. While slime molds are still largely unexplored territory, their unique properties and abilities make them an intriguing subject of scientific study. Rishi Sunak to herald UK's hard-headed foreign policy enabled by Brexit. Telegraph. UK Chancellor Rishi Sunak has announced that Britain will pursue a hard-headed foreign policy that defends British values and moral clarity in the post-Brexit world. In a speech, Sunak said the UK would continue to support Ukraine against Russia's invasion and push for humanitarian support for Gaza amid the Israel-Hamas conflict. Downing Street said the new approach was made possible by the conclusion of Brexit and recent foreign policy successes, such as the AUKUS defense partnership with the US and Australia. Sunak also pledged to intensify efforts towards a two-state solution for Israel and Palestine. Well, that's all the news we have for today, folks. Let's do a quick recap before we dive into the analysis. First, OpenAI is seeking more funding from Microsoft to pursue its vision of creating artificial general intelligence. The UK government is aiming to recruit more industry executives to senior roles in the civil service. Goldman Sachs has downgraded Hong Kong-listed Chinese stocks and upgraded shares in India. Chinese smartphone maker Xiaomi is enjoying a $20 billion rally, capitalizing on Apple's declining sales in China. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, has reported its first monthly sales gain since February. Journalists are grappling with the challenge of verifying video footage found online amidst the flood of information. Humane, a San Francisco-based startup, is developing a device to help people break free from smartphone addiction. Japan's flood defenses are being put to the test by climate change. Investors are using AI to analyze executives' emotions during earnings calls. The UK government plans to pare back its new takeover screening powers. The Iowa Hawkeyes are having a great season in college football. An AI-designed tartan has been accepted onto the official Scottish Register of Tartans. Digital artist Emmy Chang has embraced social media and AI tools to advance her artistic journey. A woman in Australia has built a house filled with thousands of slime molds, which are being studied for their unique properties. And finally, UK Chancellor Rishi Sunak has outlined a hard-headed foreign policy for the post-Brexit era. Now, let's dive into the analysis. It seems like artificial intelligence is a common theme in today's news. OpenAI's quest for funding to create artificial general intelligence shows just how ambitious the field has become. It's like they're trying to build a computer as intelligent as humans. But let's be honest, we've all seen how computers can struggle with basic tasks like understanding our commands or auto-correcting our text messages. So, building an AI that can match human intelligence seems like quite the challenge. But hey, if they can pull it off, maybe they can also help us solve the mystery of why our phones always run out of battery right when we need them the most. In other AI-related news, investors are now analyzing executives' emotions during earnings calls using AI algorithms. It's like they're trying to read between the lines, or in this case, between the words, to find out what the executives are really feeling. It's an interesting approach, but I can't help but wonder if the AI will also be able to detect when an executive is just really good at poker face. I mean, some people are just naturally good at hiding their emotions, right? Maybe they should include a category for best poker face in their analysis. I'd definitely be interested in seeing who comes out on top. Moving on from AI, let's talk about the UK government's recruitment drive for industry executives. It seems like they're trying to bring in fresh talent to shake things up in the civil service. I can just imagine them saying, "Hey, you with the cool tech skills, come work for us and help us figure out this AI stuff." It's a smart move, really. The civil service could definitely benefit from some fresh ideas and expertise. And who knows, maybe they'll finally be able to figure out how to make government websites that actually work. I mean, we all know how frustrating it is to try and navigate those things. And speaking of frustrations, let's not forget about smartphone addiction. It's a real problem these days, and it seems like everyone is trying to come up with a solution. Enter Humane, the startup that wants to help us break free from our smartphone chains. Their device, called AI Pin, is designed to monitor our smartphone usage and emit gentle chirps to remind us to put the phone down. It's like having a little bird on your shoulder, telling you to stop scrolling through Instagram and go outside for some fresh air. It's a clever idea, but let's be honest, we all know that the real solution is to just throw our phones in a lake and never look back. But hey, if you're not ready for that level of commitment, I guess AI Pin could be a good alternative. Well, that's all for today's news analysis. I hope you enjoyed the ride through the world of AI, recruitment drives, and smartphone addiction. Now, it's your turn. What are your thoughts on these topics? Do you think OpenAI will succeed in creating artificial general intelligence? Would you consider working for the civil service? And how do you deal with smartphone addiction? Share your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Remember, no AI required to join in the discussion. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.